Hi, thank you for joining me. We're gonna have a little bit more discussion today on the inspections as from the buyer's viewpoint mostly. Uh, some sellers do decide to do inspections prior to listing. It's a great idea. You can find a lot of little things that you can fix so the list isn't longer from things that they might find on your house. And it really is a good idea, but most of the time this falls to the buyer, the expense of it in having to make it happen. Um, but if the homeowner does it to check it out, that's great, but they may not do all that you would want to do. You should have the condition and safety of the home in mind as you do this. So that you're talking about structure, interior, roof, plumbing, electrical systems, air conditioning, interiors, ventilation, installation, fireplaces, test for mold, test for radar, gas, lead paint, asbestos. There's a lot of testing. So you have an home inspector come in. When you hire one, you want to find out what is all covered in this. Depending on the age of the home, whether you have to worry about lead paint or asbestos. 78, I think, is the year that from then on, you don't have to worry about it. Are they required? Do you have to do an inspection? No, you don't have to do an inspection. But there is a contingency for doing that. It helps the buyer flag problems. And even if it's an as is, you can still ask for if you find problems in your inspection. There's a lot of people that do as is think, well, I might as well not inspect, they're not going to fix anything. But remember, everything is negotiable when you're buying everything. Who does the inspections? You should make sure that they're members of the American Society of Home Inspectors, or there's an international one called the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors, because they're trained and qualified in, like myself, they're especially trained for what to look for in homes. The cost will vary greatly. You can get an inspection from $100 to $600 and then plus extra inspections, depending on the home. And the buyer does have to pay for this cost. Unless you negotiate it out, everything's negotiable. Like I said, some sellers do that before the house is listed. It's very beneficial. And make sure to attend the inspection. Buyers will have real education on the home. You can go around with the inspector and have a look at what's there, what it needs, what it has. And if you do that, I have sold so many houses that buyers never came. I go, okay, and follow them around as much as I can. They're not as compliant for me as they would be for you. You're paying them. So that's where you benefit from them. If you're doing this, it's going to take 2 to 3 hours, depending on the home. And there will be common issues found. You can go into anybody's home that really is picky about taking care of the home and still find little things that may be fixed. But you want to especially check the systems and the structure, foundation, the drainage, faulty wiring, HVAC system, trip hazards. There's a lot of in the old homes I've noticed where they built on, and they built on, getting to that next room, maybe a little bit iffy for some people. You know what I mean? Smoke hazards, carbon monoxide detecting, those type of things. You want to make sure that that's all involved in that. And we talked about the as-is homes. That means that the buyer is not making any guarantees about the home condition and will not make any repairs. It has its pros and cons for sellers, but remember, everything's negotiable. That could change. And the practice is based on inspection, vary by state and local laws. So here in Florida, I'm accustomed to theirs, but if you're not in Florida, you need to check with your local realtor and find out what, um, how they feel about you attending that, the things that we talked about here. Thank you for joining me, and remember that inspection is important. You're either going to inspect, negotiate a fine, whatever you find, and get some money for it, not get some money for it. You're going to buy the house unknown and find everything later. So think about it. It's a good idea. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again soon.